What's going on, everybody? Welcome to my movie review of Deadpool and Wolverine. Is that yeah? There you go. Anywho, that's gonna be my dub now. uh, this movie was good. It was a great movie, man. It was a great movie. Um, I, It's so much I could talk about. I don't want to make this a long video. There's so much I could talk about though. Like we could be here all day just to, that's not even with spoilers. I could go with non-spoilers, but that would just without spoilers, it would just probably seem like I'm rambling. So let's get into it. Drum roll. The so we're pulling into Deadpool and Wolverine, which takes place 6 years after the events of Deadpool 2. Um, Basically, there was a gap that explains it, but it ties into the the um the second cameo of this movie because we do see one before this cameo, but this second cameo ties into the story, so that's why I can't mention it in great detail. One, it was a spoiler, so I can't mention it at all anyway. But it's in great detail. I can't mention it too because it actually goes with the story. So what I would say is that much is that it was a cameo that actually goes into the plot of the movie, and it's the second overall cameo. Um, so Deadpool, we're introduced to Deadpool, and I like how they do add Deadpool to the Marvel Cinematic this the Marvel Studios logo opening. How we usually get Deadpool is added to it right away, so that's cool. We ain't have to wait until the next Marvel movie to see Deadpool in it. But that dude Deadpool, we get an exposition of why Deadpool Wolverine takes place. He even says it himself. You seen the name of the title. So you're wondering how did this came to be? Well, let me tell you. Like he says that, or it's something similar to it. But basically, Deadpool has retired. He wasn't in that little cameo I was talking about earlier. He wasn't retired, but when they do the 6 year time jump, then we find out he's retired. Then, so in the 6 year time jump, we find out that he's retired and is done being Deadpool, and he's living a quiet life. The reason why I said that is because it's not a spoiler, because they told us this, and or when doing interviews and stuff, and what was this movie about, we already knew that in the 6 year time jump he was retired. So don't worry, I didn't spoil anything that you didn't already know. Yeah, so he's retired, living a quiet life as a car salesman with what's his name? What's that? Is it Bob, Dave? What's that damn dude? That'd be with him. Peter, right? Is it Peter? Um, yeah, okay, yeah, Peter. Yeah, I think that's Peter. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. I can't. Some people I can't remember because there was so many people in this movie. Um, so yeah, he works as a used car salesman with Peter, and he's living his quiet life. Him and Vanessa has broken up for a reason that ties into that cameo I was talking about. Um, so Deadpool at his birthday party, which is a funny scene in itself, gets pulled outside by the time variance, which the scene we saw in the trailers where he talks about the pegging and all that type of stuff. He thinks they're male strippers. um, he basically uh, he's basically pulled into the TVA headquarters by Paradox, who explains to him um, basically the plot of the movie, why the time variants want him there, which I can't tell you, and because it's a spoiler, but I will tell you this: it ties into Logan, and it has to do with Logan and the significance of Logan, and and I will say this again, getting on subject before I break it, get quickly into the other aspects. Um, the that significance when I left out the movie theater, I was like, why did I? This really didn't have a big at all impact. Like, what was Kevin Feige talking about? And if you don't know, Kevin Feige did an interview, basically ranking the impact of this movie when it comes to future Marvel Cinematic Universe's movies. And he said if Endgame was a 10 and Infinity War was a 9, he said this would be an 8. I'm like, this didn't feel like an 8. This felt like a 0. And then I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I remember now. I had to stop myself because then I remember this part when I'm talking about was this significance being to Logan. I was like, oh. By the way, Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom. Y'all let me know if y'all want me to do a video on that and my thoughts on that. But back to Deadpool Wolverine. Um, yeah, so he's told about he's where we found out this significance about Logan and how it impacts the universe. And by the way, the reason why I mentioned that too because this the Deadpool universe is labeled Universe 10005, and or I should say the Fox universe, because yes, all the X-Men movies, including all the Deadpool movies, all the Wolverine side stuff movies, and everything, including Logan, all take place on the same Earth, Earth 1005. So yeah, there's that. You now know that all the X-Men movies are that. So we're told about that and the significance of Logan, and thus as we know, he goes to find these different Logans. That's where we get like a little montage of him going to find different Logans, cameos, and all that about references to different comic book versions of Logans. Um, uh, which is hats off to Hugh Jackman because you get his acting prowess when it comes to Logan. Um, but anywho, so we they go. He finds the Logan in the bar that's drunk, that's down his luck, and we explain and we are told why he's the worst Logan in his universe, and thus they go on this buddy cop adventure to save Deadpool's universe, but they won a file of the TVA, ended up in the void. That's where majority of this movie, the sandbox of this movie, is in this one part of the void that we never seen before, which is the desert wasteland. And yes, this is the void. And the only reason why it didn't, nobody thought it was the void because they explained in this movie that the void is big and vast. It has because it's full of stuff that's pruned. That's why it's a desert wasteland. That's why we see one part where the grass, and stuff like that we used to from the Loki series. Then we see this. So we meet Cassandra Nova. She plays as we know from the comic books, she's a Xavier's uh, shadow clone or whatever the Shi'ari called him. But basically, she's like the twin of Xavier that didn't make it out of the womb, but somehow survived anyway and became a person. She's the basically ruler of the void, and there's a resistance group who resisted her, so they're at odds with that. And basically, her and Paradox played the villains of the movie. Um, there's an army of Deadpool clones too that exist in the void. Uh, let's see. Hmm. Yeah, I miss anything before I get on to what I don't like it. Then like, yeah. So they just go on it, or we learn about Logan And this adventure takes us on a new journey with Logan and Deadpool, where they self discoveries and all that, blah blah blah, where they basically discover new things about themselves, what makes them a better person. Now, what I liked about this movie, I liked the act. The first things first, hats off to both of them. They are tremendously gifted actors when it comes to playing these roles that they was born to play. Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman do a great job playing Wolverine and Deadpool. Even Ryan Reynolds playing multiple versions of himself. Nice pool. um, I like the acting from everybody involved, including Hugh Jackman and Wolverine. The visuals were good. The CGI was good. So and the jokes were okay. There was some jokes that was just a little bit overbearing, but overall, okay. Um, the jokes would have been a negative for me, but it was two things that was more worthy of being a negative. So the jokes get a pass. Um, yeah, in terms of impact on the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I like that too. But yeah, this was like a giant love letter to the Fox universe. So I love that and I like that. So this was a giant love letter to the Fox universe and the movies, all the other movies too that came before it, that helped make the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because the inspiration of all these other movies is what led to the creation of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So it was a nod to those things. So I'm glad we got to see that. Um, so with that being said, uh, and it's even a tribute part of this movie that confirms that this was a big love letter to the Fox cinematic universe, and not only a love letter but a goodbye letter too at that. So what I didn't like about the movie, Cassandra Nova, and these is two and one. Cassandra Nova and Mr. Paradox. They, when it comes to villainy, they fall flat on kind of like not bad. It's just like when it comes to villainy and what comes first and what comes second. What comes first is their the MacGuffin for the character, for the Wolverine and Deadpool getting introduced into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and then second is them being villains and antagonists of the movie. So that's why I say it's a negative, because they villainy and them being evil should come first, but not their MacGuffin on how we get these characters where we want them to be and how we get them into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So there's that, and especially with Cassandra Nova, like there's a lot that you could tap into with that character, and they only tap into a little bit of it, and not enough for me to be like they could have did a little bit better with her. Now, is Cassandra Nova and Paradox the weakest when it comes to villains of the MCU? No, they're not the best though either. They're like in the middle. They're meh. While there are people below them who are worse, and there are people above them who are better. Um, uh, um, and the second thing was the movie plot. The plot was in itself. The plot is weak, but not weak enough to where, oh, this make the movie is bad and blah blah blah. No, the movie itself is good. It's great, but the plot being weak keeps it from being perfect. Um, but yeah, and the pace. Oh, I also like the pacing in the movie. The pace for a 2 hour and 7 minute movie, the pacing was pretty good. Pacing was pretty good. Considering they had to cram in all these cameos and stuff, and we don't even know what got left on the cutting room floor. But yeah, this was good. Um, that I forgot. That was the other thing I liked about the movie was the pacing. But overall, yeah, the things I didn't like about it was the weak villains and the overall plot being just a weak plot that was held up by a good writing and good story structure. None that the story is still good, but it still doesn't help the fact that the plot and the story was kind of weak. Even though it was good, it was still weak to where it was like, this could have been a better plot. But you're lucky that the movie overall was so great that it's tolerable to have a weak plot. Um. Oh, and the R ratedness. That's another thing I like. The R ratedness and the glory, the swearing. There's a little bit of overkill with the swearing, but the glory, bloody goodness of the R-rated movies of Deadpool all is there in full flesh. So you don't gotta worry about that. Is the movie woke? Eh, not really. Not that I could tell. I mean, there might have been some stuff in there that might have been woke, but it wasn't like it was basically where it needed to be. It was so non-existent that you didn't notice it. You had to actually go searching for it to notice it. But overall, it's a good movie. It's also a one post credit scene, which is actually at the very end. There's no mid credit scene. As I did say something early in the video, why there's no mid credit scene, and there's only just one post credit scene. So whatever something I said earlier takes the place of a mid credit scene. Means why you got to stay all the way to the end after the credits are done to see this post credit scene. But do you really need to see it? Is it like a world building? Show you what's next of the MCU? No, it's not that. It's just a fun riff on what happened in the movie earlier. Um, but overall, yeah, the movie was good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. I'm going to buy it on DVD. Um, it gets an 8 out of 10 for me. This was an 8 out of 10 movie. But you let me know in the comments down below what you thought, and if you enjoy my review, you let me know. You hit this right button right here with all of my movie reviews. And if you enjoy the video so much, you want to support the channel, all you gotta do is hit that like, subscribe, share, hit that notification button because I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers, and you can help me by doing so. Share this video. Maybe this video is the one that blows up the channel. Who knows? And as always, hit any one of the videos for more of my amazing content. As you see, I always got more for you. So, peace out.